Peace. Happy now. Now is a vibrative course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past right now. Take what resonate, leave what don't. This is like downloads. In essence, downloaded information that's coming to me, and want me to speak on it without having too much logical evidence. At least within this video, I'm just bringing it up and going as I go. Just put it like this: Earth is the first daughter of Set. Should I say Earth is the first daughter of Lucifer and the primordial mother, and later becoming the first father. And I'm gonna get into that. But basically, I've been coming across information in this Drumvalo Melchizedek book. And again, nothing is a coincidence. Like, you realize within your life, within, your experience, within the experience that life is, that we are, there's no coincidences. And I've been brought to information dealing with Immaculate Conception and this whole situation. And then I had a trip lately that spoke to that aspect of realizing, like it was the primordial mother by herself. And from there, she could only create a masculine aspect. So she created that masculine aspect, and then with that masculine aspect was able to procreate. So within the bees, like the family of bees, the female bee could give birth to a male bee at any point. You know what I'm saying? Like no sexual action is necessarily needed between that female bee and another bee. That female bee by herself can create a male bee, just like as above, so below, as within, so without. That primordial darkness, that toroidal field, that void, that whirlpool from the void, or that that black hole, so to speak. It created a star. You know what I'm saying? A star is, in essence, a masculine energy. It's a fiery, masculine expression. And hence, Lucifer, the light bearer. Star brings light. And also a star is also a sun. You know what I'm saying? In essence, like the sun that's in the solar system that shine bright. And when we talk about, again, ancient dynastic, matter of fact, shout out to Bobby Hemmett with the references to Gerald Massey books and Rudolf Steiner books. And which, because I think about Rudolf Steiner book, Cosmic Memory, but I haven't read it. But I know, like, some of these notes speak to this. Well, more so Gerald Massey information, because Gerald Massey books speak to pre-dynastic Kemet. Because again, one man's God is another man's devil, and the earlier beings were dealing with Set, connecting with Set, because they realized like Set is the first son of the primordial darkness. You know what I'm saying? Because this also makes us have to kind of change our perspective of like what really is the center of the galaxy, or how how unique this earthly plane really is, if it's like the center of attention in that essence. Because some would have us to believe that like we are in a solar system that's just like way off, and it's not like the main thing. But that's neither here or there right now. But just speaking on it again, Earth being the first daughter of Set, and Set is basically like what is called Sirius, or Sothis, and also later known as Shaitan or Satan. Because when you think about it, one man's God is another man's devil. Set is the first son, but also, because matter of fact, that's where you get incest. The idea of incest and all this comes from, the primordial mother birthing that son, like, basically Immaculate Conception of birthing her son, and then having sex with her son, procreating on the physical level in order to create a physical earth. You know what I'm saying? A physical earthly plane, aka mama, female energy, like the mama earth, you know what I'm saying? You could say Earth is an offspring of Set and the primordial mother. And again, take what resonate, leave what don't. I ain't telling you to believe me or whatever, but I know that this channel ain't no bullshit, and so I'm gonna speak on it straight up how it's how it came to me. And you do whatever you want with it. But again, that Earth is that first daughter of Set, and also, You know, when they talk about, you know, Saturn and Satan and, you know, Kronos eating his children, things of this nature, it is when things shifted, you know what I'm saying? So when Set, you know, stopped being the son in essence, I mean, always gonna be the son, but you know, but also Set is the first father as well. So not only is the first son, but he's technically the first father because he's the first energy in essence to procreate with the primordial mother energy, you know. But and then later, you know, when the, you know, on a human level, when the new dynasties come and Kemet and things of this nature, they start worshiping Ra and Horus and Osiris, but that's a personification of, like, you know, at first, you know, it was about, you know, Set the firstborn, you know, the first son, you know what I'm saying? That, and that's where we get the dynamic of the zodiac signs, like, you know, where the first zodiac signs, Aries being head first, and then Taurus being, you know, kind of stubborn and into the physical realm, you know, basically like going through the zodiac signs is the energies that Lucifer went through in essence, through, and again, his or her, you know, through its growth, you know, Lucifer, the being, the energy, the consciousness, you know, that basically aspect of the primordial mother created from the primordial mother, but which in essence is still, you know, the primordial mother. But, you know, Set, after, again, first was the son, and then also, again, after he was born, having sex with his mother, you know, so also becoming, you know, a father as well to the universe. So not only the firstborn son, but also becoming a father as well, you know what I'm saying? And if he's the first father, you know, that old father, then, you know, that's where, again, Shaitan and forgot other names connected to Set, but that's where you get the Set energy connected to Saturn, you know. And again, one man's God is another man's devil, because, you know, the newer children and the newer sons, because matter of fact, and say for instance, after the primordial mother, you know, birthed that first son, and again, in order to have a girl, you had the primordial mother had to procreate physically with the masculine aspect. And in this book right here, it speaks to two, like, where interdimensional sex, like, so sex on a non-physical level, but which in essence is like the Immaculate Conception, like that produces a male, you know, so it's gonna produce a masculine energy, but it's the physical aspect to create the female. And so again, a female bee, if looking back to the female, to the bees, a female bee could birth a male bee anytime she wants. She doesn't have to ask for permission from the male, and doesn't need a male to create a new male. She just could do it. If she wants to make a female bee, however, she must mate with a male. You know what I'm saying? And again, if we go off of the vibe, as above, so, you know, the Hermetic principles are laws that aren't, you know, that can't really be broken in essence, you know, for lack of a better word, you know, laws that are in place, you know. So again, these bees operate a certain way, you know, mimicking that energy, you know what I'm saying? And again, that's where we get the 16 crucified saviors with the virgin birth, because later too, Set, in essence, that energy becomes the Christ energy. But we're gonna kind of get into that if I can. If I could get into it without throwing, you know, all the stuff off, because the main thing was just the download of, like, hey, Earth is the first daughter of Set, and again, for what we call Set, that first masculine energy in the universe, birthed from the primordial mother, the first son, which in essence too became the first father, you know, created the earthly plane. And again, that's where you get the promiscuousness of the, you know, like a goddess like Urzuli Freya, or Freya, or Freda, or again, or Oshun, you know, or even a Nana connected with, you know, a Nana and a Ishtar, you know, with fertilization, being fertile, the sexual energy, you know, reproduction, because that's the aspect of the primordial mother as she was creating the universe, basically on some like, all right, I just finished having sex with my son, made a daughter, now I'ma you know, create another son, you know, and that's what happened. Create another son, had sex, you know, like, so basically, you know, and to this were these stories of, like, you know, Father Time getting jealous and trying to eat his children, or things of this nature, you know, that primordial energy, you know, in essence, kind of feeling some kind of way about, you know, his mama slash wife, you know, just procreating and dealing with all the rest of the children the way, you know, that creates a certain little type of jealousy, you know, and things of that nature. But it's where we get the archetypes of all these different storylines, you know, and, you know, you got these Game of Thrones themes and stuff like that with all the incest and all that, you know, because even down to being twin flames, you know, twin flames is like brothers and sisters and lovers at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a, you know, from a human aspect. And again, that's where you start to see, like, all right, that's why they've been implementing these human guidelines and little moralistic standards, because it goes against our true being. So they like, you know, in order to have these beings confused, we want to implement this human shit so they could think something wrong with them. And that's why they create social engineering of, like, creating cults to look bad and stuff like that, because they knew that we were going to start awakening and communing and connecting in a manner like that, but not like how they tried to paint the picture to scare people, of course. But, you know, but connecting in that community, like, you know, like we have our own little gated property or whatever, and we vibing, you know. That's the whole aspect. So again, you know, the Ra slash Horus aspect is the second son, and that's where you also get the beef and factions later in the religions. Again, like when the new dynasty come in, it's all about Ra and Horus and the second son, you know. And we saying the second son may not technically be the second son, but, you know, but the son that comes after the firstborn, you know what I'm saying, and try to take his place, you know, on some vibes. Kind of think about like that, again, Freya Odin connection, you know, Freya, like, barely messing with Odin on his own little shit, like being all old and stubborn type of vibe, you know, that those stories are all connecting to this, you know, to this energy. But also another thing I spoke on too, because some people, in which I've come across this vibe on many different levels, you know, but like some people feeling like in order to be immortal, in order to make sure you don't come back to this realm to not have children. But, you know, for me, from my insight, my vibe, I feel like it's just all on your subconscious programming, because I feel that you could, again, your child is not nothing your own. You're just allowing for another being, because the thing about it like this, you're allowing for another being to experience, you know, this realm of reality. And as much as we could say like, oh, this is hell, this is crazy, this and that, you know what I'm saying? It, you know, is this experience nonetheless, an experience that some souls want to, you know, want to have. And with that being said, you know, as a matter of fact, I did a video speaking on that, like, you know, what if we all stop having children, you know? But I try to post it. We're posting this video to make sure people could, you know, catch it. But as a matter of fact, when you talk about the mystery schools and Kemet, stuff like that, you know, things were connected. You know, the left eye pathway connected to the right brain, or the feminine energy, and the right eye pathway connected to the left brain and the logical energy. And the middle eye pathway is like the child energy, you know what I'm saying? But again, back with this whole Immaculate Conception, you know, again, the physical aspect of it is what creates the, you know, the female, because again, the bee has to connect with the male in order to procreate a female, but she doesn't need any help to create a male. Hence the primordial mother, like, just like boom, first son, you know, it had a son in order to, and basically, and you could almost say Eve or Lilith, that first, again, daughter energy in essence, like that, basically the daughter of Set and the primordial mother, would be that first, energy on that level. And again, just for lack of better words, take what resonate, leave what don't, like you go through these whole situations. As a matter of fact, like once you go through all the different dynamics of like, again, the Aries energy, and we talk about the star Sirius, and Sirius being an old star and this and that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's another thing too. Like what and Drumvalo Melchizedek speak of that in this book, about like the primordial mother energy, connecting with one energy. So basically, and from his book, it's not about the primordial mother. It's from the perspective of Jehudi or Thoth talking to him, and Jehudi talking about how he was born and things of this nature. But it's kind of connected. But basically, it was like what a consciousness shift. So like the first son was vibing in a certain little area, and then after he procreated, he went on his journey and expanded to like in this book they say Venus, and then after that first son expanded to Venus, the second son, procreated with the mother as well, creating another son. A matter of fact, not even procreate. Like, all right, excuse me. Let's get back. See, that's where I'm trying to stay in alignment with, because one false move with this information and it could become confusing. Keep it real. But, and basically, again, to bring it back full circle, again, the primordial mother having the first son mating with his mom to have the first daughter, aka Earth. And I started off with that because I caught that download straight up. I'm like, Earth is the first daughter in essence. Yeah. But like you think about again, jealousy kicking in when mom started having sex with the offspring. And again, that's that personification of Oshun, and like Oshun dealt with Shango, Oshun dealt with Ogun. Oshun was she was vibing. And Freya get down too. Freya end up having Freya like the shiny things and jewelry and stuff like that, just like the Oshun energy. And Freya end up having sex with 4 dwarves or 4 little beings in order to get this certain little necklace or something like that. But just a personification of that quote unquote promiscuous energy of the universe. Like again, after having that first son, like constantly, whether it's through constantly having immaculate conceptions and conceptions on a connection with the male aspect to produce the females, But also, let's see. And the whole aspect too, like of the Lucifer being rebellious and this and that, what I'm saying? Because another thing too, that aspect of like, like, Mom, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask to be your son and your lover too. This shit confusing. Like, this fucking with me. And Mama like, bro, look, I ain't had no other way, what I'm saying? All I know is the way I know, You think about a single mother right now, like, she doing the best of what she know how to do, that archetype, basically of the primordial mother on the physical level, You ain't got no rule book or no guidelines on how to create a universe. It's like, just make this happen. But that stubbornness from that masculine energy turned into what would be called like the devil or the Lucifer aspect that's rebellious against that primordial mother aspect, or that jealous of God aspect, you know what I'm saying? And also that aspect, again, I always spoke about, matter of fact, Powerpuff Girls dripping the sauce heavy with the little devil character that act like a woman or shape like a woman. And then a lot of different little depictions of the devil. It kind of has like this bisexual, you know, or like you know, hermaphrodite type of energy. Matter of fact, Hermaphrodites, the son of you know, Aphrodite and Mercury, or Aphrodite and Hermes, you know what I'm saying? Like the Mercury and Venus energy coming together, you know what I'm saying? But again, that archetype of just being mad at your mama, you know, that whole aspect. And then again, it turned into a place where, all right, the primordial mother was like, all right, it's cool for you to get a little mad, but like, all right, now get over this shit, you know. And that Lucifer aspect was still not trying to get over it. So, you know, that energy, you know what I'm saying, had to deal with mama, you know. Mama was like, hey, I brought you into this world, I could take you out. You know. And again, this sun transformed through different personalities or states of consciousness, aka the zodiac signs, you know. And you know, from being like a head first vibe to being, you know, embodying the Taurus energy, to embodying the communication vibes, communicating, you know, then having like a prideful energy and youthful and joy, you know, going through the vibes, you know, and then too, becoming cold towards mom, you know, or being in that Capricorn Saturnian energy, you know, that old father vibe, you know what I'm saying? And resenting the whole aspect of the way things were created, or like resenting, like, you know, why am I here and why I'm dealing, you know, like, but just being cold about that aspect, you know, that and again, that's why, like, with all these different little movies, you know, everything points to the rebellion. Everything points to the rebellion being led by like like, you know, a woman like Princess Leia, or the Dragon Queen on Game of Thrones, or Katniss Everdeen on Hunger Games. But you know, it's like that energy. Matter of fact, the Sekhmet energy is the I'ma kick your ass, son, if you don't listen. You know, like that Sekhmet energy was like, all right, you want to create this illusionary world and try to confuse your other brothers and sisters, and, you know, and children and all that. Like, you want to confuse the rest of the energies. All right, it's time for me to bust your ass. You know, you ready for this? And again, as we talking about, you know, the clashing of energies, things, is, you know, again, that's what it is. Like, it's not necessarily two people fighting in essence, as much as it's just energies, you know, clashing in essence. You know, like fire doesn't hate water, but those energies do clash. And if I was rewriting a story, a symbolic story to let you know how fire and water deal with each other, I'd be like, you know, the fire punches at the water, and you know what I'm saying? Like, those stories get personified in that type of a manner, you know, and that's due to us, you know, being in a fallen state. And the only way to be able to kind of comprehend and connect with these aspects is due to these little types of stories being told in these you know, type of formats. But again, that Sekhmet energy is like that I'ma kick your ass, son, if you don't listen. You know, it's also portrayed as the evil dictator queen archetype in movies. You know, because again, the primordial mother is that energy too. Like, you know, I know people might think I'm a bitch or might think I'm mean for this shit, but look, it is what it is. I gotta make things happen the way I make things happen. You can hate me if you want, but look, I did my best. You know what I'm saying? And I love you. It's unconditional love, and I love you. But again, I brought you into this world. I could take your ungrateful ass out. You know, I get that. Like, as a mom, I didn't create the, you know, and I say didn't, but, you know, like the picture perfect, you know. But look, I did my best. We are where we are. You know what I'm saying? You know, have gratitude, or, you know, fall back. But, you know, that evil dictator queen archetype of like just having that, that type of energy. And also though, that's also personified to scare people too, from that primordial mother energy. Like that's why like Kali Ma is portrayed as something to be scared of when it's really not, something that's beneficial to your soul. But again, and again, that dictator queen archetype too, like I don't want to harm you, son, but for the greater good of the universe, I will, you know what I'm saying? That whole aspect. And then even down to the Papa Legba / Lazarus Baron Samedi energy, like the limp that Papa Legba got also, I caught the download, that also comes from being crippled by mama, because it's like, all right, you want to be cold, you want to be like this, crippled. Because again, the Papa Legba energy also represents, again, the solar phallic, light, kind of like that, which again, it embodies, in essence, the Lucifer and the Christ energy to some extent, because again, Christ is technically, or the Christ consciousness, I should say, is a messenger of the gods in essence, you know what I'm saying? But, and again, like the limp, after being crippled, it was like that kind of transformed, that energy into becoming more Christ-like, you know what I'm saying? And the whole aspect of resurrecting from the dead, or resurrecting from the crossroads, you know what I'm saying? And that whole, again, in connection with Baron Simon, and also Lazarus, because in the story Bible, Lazarus was raised from the dead by, Jesus, and Lazarus also was like a cripple and walked with a limp as well, but that whole aspect of like, within, and I'm telling this, I'm saying these things to the best of my ability, you know what I'm saying, like, so, but again, like that limp, and don't just come from walking in between realms, it also comes from, mama having to cripple us, you know what I'm saying, and also, constantly like having a, so say for instance, also the amnesia and the reincarnation process is connected to being the first son / husband and constantly going through the cycle of getting our ass whipped by mama. You know what I'm saying? Like constantly going through the cycle of like I'm back mad at you back, you know what I'm saying? It's like mama have to knock us out and then see where we at. And think about that. Think about being a mother and having to constantly knock your children out or knock, you know what I'm saying? Like that would take a toll on you too, and seeing how a mother has to deal with so much in general, you know what I'm saying? Like here it is, you're tapped in and created, you're tapped into all of this creation, you're having to, like create a certain situation and do it the best to your ability for the most part by yourself, as far as like the beginning, and say beginning stages, ain't no necessarily beginning, but that whole aspect, again, and that's where the personification of I amnesia, and again, being in this realm is connected to, the Luciferian energy, the Lucifer, the light illusion, you know what I'm saying? And again, with the earth being the first daughter, but again, the amnesia and the reincarnation process is connected to being the first son / husband and constantly going through the cycle of getting his ass whipped, not allowed back in the house type of energy, and think about it, like those, because all that exists for a reason, like domestic violence, you know what I'm saying, like that exists, It's no coincidence that domestic violence exists, you know what I'm saying? But that's part of that essence, it's like that first husband / first son, going through that, that growing process and keep getting his ass whipped. And again, not allowed back through the house, through the yoni, through the temple. Basically not allowed back in the house until your ego is released. Like, you're not coming back in this house, you're not connecting on this level no more until you get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? Until you get rid of your ego. And I say get rid, but you know what I'm saying? You transcend the unhealthy aspects of your ego. You know what I'm saying? And then I might think about letting you back in this house or back in this yoni. I might think about giving you a little something. Like, you know what I'm saying? And two, like our human, and that's where you see what a subconscious programming, like, oh man, that's sick, bro, having sex with your mama, this and that. Again, it's an aspect of the way that, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, because this human aspect to it, again, that doesn't mean like because the universe is created like that's necessarily what we're about to like just start up and doing. But again, it's not for us to look at that situation as like, far-fetched or crazy or what, like that's the beginning, like that, not say the beginning, but like that's the essence of the creation situation, you know what I'm saying? The sexual energies coming together and creating that process. But and again, resurrecting from the dead, it's like, again, like that Christ energy, because also it's like, all right, being that Luciferian energy and then resurrected into that Christ energy, you know what I'm saying? And you got the little story about Jesus riding into to Jerusalem on an ass. An ass is set, riding on the devil, taming that lower nature, aspect as well. Because again, there's multiple different energies that, say for instance the first son or the set energy represents is multiple, like, and that's even down to, again, like when you get into these different deities or gods, that's why, like, in some pantheons, two different gods could be connected to one god in another pantheon, you know what I'm saying? Because it is all like interconnected in essence. It's just when you get down to language, and then certain regions gave certain attributes to certain names of gods, and then it became more and more, not say diluted, but like, again, this is just a personifications of consciousness moving, conscious creating, and that's, I think about another aspect. And again, that's the the Horus aspect, Horus, over the horizon, horoscopes, all that Christ energy, or that second son, because Christ is like the second son. Like, Christ is not the firstborn son, Christ is the second son. So, and again, that turns into, matter of fact, also, again, like, this is a play out, like what happens in the cosmos and the high vibrations plays out, in this little dream realm, in this realm of reality. But again, like I wrote, like, some people's souls come from the pre-dynastic energy, and others come from the like the dynasties that came after. So some of us resonate closer with the set energy, some of us resonate stronger with the Ra Horus energy, But again, that whole little vibe, again, the first son, second son. First son is Set, Sirius, Shaitan, Satan, or Saturn, I should say, because again, that first son technically is the first father as well, and then later, the second son, Ra Horus, Christ, that whole aspect. Again, also another dynamic, also the masculine energy being jealous of mama's control over the universe, you know what I'm saying? Because again, and mama don't necessarily control, your mama don't necessarily control the universe in that essence. As a matter of fact, too, that's what that dictator archetype, in essence, is like, a personification of the fact that, you know, that feminine aspect, for the most part, runs the universe. You know what I'm saying? And no coincidence, again, as above, so below, as within, so without. That's why little human terminology is like, you know, like the yoni run the world, you know, the pussy run the world, excuse my diction, but, you know, like that whole aspect of like, man, women run things, or the yoni is what run things, you know. So again, also the masculine energy, and a lot of us recently too, the divine masculine had to, a lot of us had to release that pent up, like, egoic anger, or not say anger, but jealousy towards the divine feminine, you know, like realizing, look, like, to let go of that aspect of ego, of feeling like I don't like the fact that my mom's stronger than me, or that my mom has this type of control over the universe or energy. Like, bro, drop that ego, you know what I'm saying? Like, and be grateful that you know what I'm saying, that you have that you were able to have some type of existence or some type of experience, you know, outside of just sitting as one big glob of the primordial mother, or, you know, and again, say primordial mother, for lack of a better word, just that primordial essence, which again is connected to a mother of feminine energy, because again, the feminine energy ability to not only, again, immaculate conception, but again, like, from the darkness let there be light, you know, the three trimesters, the triple darkness, the triple darkness above the top separate on the tree of life, you know, above Ketha, you got Ain Soft, and Ain Soft representing the triple darkness, you know, those three stages before we drop down into having the experience, you know. But again, you know, that jealousy vibe, having to get over that, and matter of fact, and this where the oppressors take that storyline and that energy, and you know, and turn it into their own little homosexual promotion vibe, you know. And again, to each his own on your sexual orientation and all that. Just speaking on, you know, again, what they promote with the vibe of, like, promoting that, again, that energy of, like, you know, again, the masculine energy being jealous of the woman. Like, I wish I had titties too, so I could, you know, do that. I wish I had a yoni, so I could control the universe like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, so they create all these little different things, down to, like, George Washington, them wearing wigs and little high heels, you know, and wearing a little, well, not really a skirt, I take that back, but a little apron vibes. But, you know, that whole aspect, you know, with Freemasonry and it being just all boys, and them, you know, doing little things with each other, and even down to the church, you know, again, promoting this energy. But it again, is that jealousy and resentment, you know, trying to be like mama and do what mama do. So since I can't, I'm going to just act like a woman, you know, and try to be a woman. To each his own, again, whatever you add in your little 3D realm growth, or within this little dream realm growth, you know, it is what it is. But it is what it is on a universal level too, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't, you know, again, I'm not out here, I don't judge nobody lifestyles or none of that, you know, again, to each his own. But the real is the real too. Like, information is information. I'm not gonna not say something just because you got an ego, or because you identify strongly about a persona or a role you playing in the dream realm. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all growing. We all sometimes get caught up in identifying too much in certain little things. So we working. And two, where you get these different factions type of vibe, like the old gods, you know, and new guys. As a matter of fact, like, say, for instance, some old guys like the way mama was doing things, you know what I'm saying? And then some of the new guys like the way daddy was doing things, you know what I'm saying? And it's as above, so below. Like, certain cells in our body, you know, is vibing with us ascending. Like, oh yeah, bro, I'm ready to ascend. And then there's certain cells in the body like, oh no, I want to stay in the old earth. You know, I want to stay, you know what I'm saying? So you see that faction again within, because again, as above, so below, as within, so without. You know, we are walking universes. So this whole little story I'm talking about right now is in essence playing out within us, you know what I'm saying, in some way, form, or fashion, you know. But again, old guys like the way mama was doing it, new guys liking the way daddy, you know, the way set, the Lucifer aspect, you know, like shit, I'd rather be in this little dream realm all the time than to get back to the other essence of the existence, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's all, again, it's all a growth, it's all on, you know, what your soul journey is about. And, you know, that's basically it, though. Again, and also there's another aspect I want to, and just to bring up too, you know, that's what the prime, and watch my video Snakes on the Plane, because I tap into that, speaking on the set energy and the primordial mother energy, and that will help to, you know, again, go check out this information. I wish I had that. Do I have it? No, I don't. But yeah, definitely go check out that video. That's basically it. Just looking at my. Also, and just lastly, so, you know, the Divine Mother feels all her children, you know, happiness, pain, you know, triumph moments to the most depressing moments. You know, the Divine Mother feels all that, and while dealing with herself and doing it in a manner where she doesn't let you see her sweat. Basically, I caught the vibe of, like, you know, like how, you know, divine feminine energy, you know, like you got a bunch of queens out here, like, say for instance, bro, like a lot of people don't know, like, just say for instance, I'm just, you know, just let you peep into this round a little bit. Like, you might have like a little messed up leg or something, you know, you hurting, this and that, and you come across somebody or you meet somebody, you know, might happen to be a female, and then a few days later or after that interaction, like, you feel your knee not hurting no more, or that, you know what I'm saying, like, it's just, you know, again, like, it's cause I keep it real too. Cause again, we had mystery schools for a reason. I'ma just say that. But I just say, you know, hey, mom dealing with a lot, that feminine energy, you know. And again, as I'm speaking on this is not like, it's not like I hate myself, like I hate the masculine energy that I am because I'm promoting the, like, no, it's like, again, just speaking on this energy, because again, this is the aspect of what's been missing, and the reason why things all topsy-turvy now is because of all upside down and all around and all this craziness or craziness, whatever, you know. But the reason why we're going through this situation is due to the absence of the feminine energy, and technically due to just having experience too, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, gotta do something gotta be shaken up for us to have something to do, in essence, you know. But yeah, that's basically it. Just wanted to share that little aspect again of, like, the earth being the first daughter of, you know, Set and the primordial mother, and the Ra Horus aspect, you know, or Christ aspect is like the second son, you know, and the first son is like the Lucifer or the Set, Sirius, you know, aspect, or even quote unquote like what some people call Nubaru, or, you know, Planet X or whatever, you know, or that other sun, you know. But again, take what resonate, leave what don't, y'all. You know, again, I could only I have to be confident in sharing this information, so I'm gonna share it in a way, you know, like as if it's You know, as if it's truth in the essence of, you know, again, it came to me in a certain way that I trust that the energies that's pushing me to speak on it is coming from a divine place, you know. But again, and I've been itching to do this video to the point where, like, I was about to leave, because I did a couple of videos today, and I was about to go, and someone was like, bruh, nah, either right now or never. Like, and I, cause too, I was feeling, cause it with some things too, I watched it where I could try to do too much and build up the information and mess it up. So it's like, bruh, just look, go with what you got right now. Because also I done kind of spoke to these energies in some way, form, or fashion in older videos too, so it'll all make the dots connect. But again, take what resonate, leave what don't. You know? Oh, University, you running that? You ain't even got a comment. Just don't fuck with the video. And to each his own. You can fucking troll if you want to too. It's all good, but you know, save yourself some energy. By focusing on, again, like, why focus on somebody who information is not accurate? You know, if I'm not accurate or whatever, you know, take your focus to somewhere where it's beneficial to you. Which will show how insane some people are in that essence, but I love you nonetheless. Even bacteria serve a purpose. You know? Happy now, of course. Now is the vibrate. Matter of fact, like and subscribe. You like the content of any videos, you know, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe, and when you subscribe, hit the little bell icon to get notifications of when I post new videos or live videos. Because some things do have like a time sensitive, a moment sensitive type of vibe to it, where I catch something in a moment and it's for us in that moment, you know, so you can have that awareness in that moment. And in the donation link, any and all donations greatly appreciated. My donation link is underneath most of all of my videos, and it's also in my bio for my bio for my Instagram and my both Instagrams. What I was gonna say, my Universal Frequencies Instagram page and my Epic Lifestyles Instagram page. So, you know, got the donation link in both of those, and in the descriptions of most of all my videos. So again, anything a penny. Matter of fact, I got Bullcorn, $1 from each person that watched my reasons why you shouldn't open your Pioneer Vada. Got $1 from each person in that video. So that'd have been a nice little donation. I'm not, look, again, and there's a balance with that. Again, like, where your heart at. I'm bringing these things up because my higher self is letting me know, like, hey, you gotta at least speak up on these things, like, cause that's a part of victimhood, to like sit back and be like, oh, I'm not gonna never ask for anything, this and that. Like, nah, like, I'm putting out content, I'm working. It ain't like I'm putting a gun to nobody's head and saying, give me money for my videos, or I'm not making a video unless you give me money. Like, you know, no, I'm just saying, hey, I got a donation link, and if you would like to donate, it's there. Hey. But peace. Happy now, of course. Now is the vibrate. We're not going too far in the future. We're not going too far in the past. Right now is the only thing that exists. Tapping into the past and the future simultaneously, just by being in this moment. Peace, peace.